Hey guys, NCS Fan 001 here. We are welcoming you today to my 350th Platinum Trophy. Today's game is Destiny 2. So yeah, this is a bit of a bigger Platinum. I don't usually do big multiplayer heavy games like this. But I did do Destiny 2 because I unfortunately was suckered into, or not necessarily suckered into, but bought it day one, which probably should not have done. But I did. Anyway, Destiny 2, it is definitely easier than the first Destiny game overall because there's no like flawless raider crap to deal with this time around, which is thankfully, that thankfully makes it a lot easier because that trophy is the one that is kind of putting me away from finishing Destiny 1. I never really got that close to finishing Destiny 1 anyway, maybe someday. I got some progress in it, but still would have had a long way to go. Anyway, with Destiny 2, it's much easier. It's basically complete all the different activities at least like once, just to get a bunch of random stuff done. You have to get all the subclasses unlocked for each of the 3 character types, which is much easier than what you had to do in Destiny 1. In Destiny 1, you had to like fully level a subclass from each character or something. This game, you just have to unlock all the subclasses, which is not difficult at all. And I held this up last just because I knew I could catch it on recording. Because I didn't know when I was going to get done with the raid, because that was sort of what was stopping me from finishing this. And in this case, it's not necessarily because the raid is difficult. It's more just because the raid is, it requires coordinating a group of 6 people. And I ran into an absurd number of problems doing that. Like, I was constantly having issues getting a group together to do the raid. Thankfully, I eventually had some friends that were real good with the game agree to help me get through it because they had a full group, or they had like a 5-person group. They decided, or they let me jump in and play it with them and finish it. And there it is, Ikora's Protege with Traveler's Chosen. Awesome. So, unfortunately, since you can't pause in this game, since it's multiplayer-based, I'm going to take care of all this first. I wonder if having this would have helped me at any time earlier on with the raid and such. I don't know, but I will be back with you guys in just a moment once I have finished doing this and can safely get back to the tower or something. Alright guys, there we go. Game completed. Platinum Trophy number 350 done. So, Destiny 2. Overall, it's definitely easier than Destiny 1, and I would say it's probably less time consuming. So, you have, of course, the Platinum. So, 2.8%, it's an ultra rare on here, which means it's probably much higher on PSN profiles, unfortunately. So, this is not going to be an ultra rare by any means. Reach level 20, that's very easy, pretty much unmissable. Obtain all the subclasses for each class. I mained the Warlock, and it took me until then to do that, which is kind of funny. But either way, this is not difficult at all. You just have to play for a few hours with each class, and you'll end up getting it. It's not too hard. Shax's Call to Arms. Initially, this required you just to complete an easy sort of side quest with Shax, mostly playing in the Crucible. But I think it's been changed now, so I'm not really sure what you have to do now. Complete a flashpoint, that was very easy. That was just like complete a few of the weekly activities on any given one of those areas, which were the 4 starting areas for the game before the DLC came out. Heroic public event is basically unmissable. You just have to turn any public event heroic and finish it. It's extremely easy. Might be one of the first trophies you get. Nightfall Strike, not too hard. They're meant to be just a little bit harder, but they really aren't too difficult overall. 15 exotic weapons or armor. That was initially very easy, especially since I think you could just buy everything from, what's-his-face, from Xur, I think was his name, the guy that sells the legendary stuff. So initially it was very, very easy, but they made it much harder over time by decreasing the drop rate of exotics, so that's probably become quite a bit harder. 30 challenges, not too difficult. I think that's changed as well, but it's still not too difficult. You used to be able to get like a whole bunch of challenges every day, so you would probably get it through natural progression. I think there's fewer challenges available per day now, but it's still not that hard. The Leviathan raid and the Leviathan on Prestige. These are the two of the hardest trophies in the game. The regular raid is actually quite easy. I wouldn't worry about the regular raid that much as long as you have a relatively competent team, especially if people have, you know, absurdly overleveled characters from the DLC and know how to run it. So like the regular raid didn't give us a whole lot of trouble. The prestige raid is definitely a little bit harder, even if you are pretty overleveled. That one is definitely harder. It still wasn't terrible. I mean, as you can see, we did both of them pretty much over the course of like maybe a 5-hour period, played through both of them, and it was my first time doing it. I had some guys that were very experienced with the game. They got me through it since it was the first time I was ever able to successfully even get a group together to do it. Was the problem was the regular raid is not really that bad, but can never get a group together to do it. Because people didn't want to coordinate that well on like PSN profiles and such. And then finally, you also had this trophy for... I earned that exactly 1 year after that. Wow, I was about to say those dates seemed a little bit weird. Exactly 1 year earlier, did this one. This one is kind of annoying. It requires you to win a match in Trials of the Nine, which is a more hardcore PvP mode, and I was terrible at it. But thankfully, you only have to win one game, which is not too bad if you have some skilled teammates, but I still had a lot of trouble with it. It took us quite a while to get, but we eventually got it, I guess more out of luck and more out of playing the objective than going after killing the people. So that sort of worked for me and eventually got it. So yeah, overall the Platinum isn't too hard as long as you have a decent team for the raid and can get through the Trials of the Nine. Forsaken, I am not looking forward to this. I don't own the DLC yet because it's still like 40 bucks. When it drops in price, I'll pick it up. I want to say this one's easy, and this one is story-related, I believe. Yep, that's story-related and easy. That one's fairly easy. This one is pretty simple. I don't think this one's too hard either, and this one, I think that's also a story-related. So a majority of the trophies aren't terrible, but you have to beat the raid, so it's another raid. I don't know how high level you have to be to do it. A collections badge and a triumph seal and the exotic items are by far the worst, since the exotic drop rate is so low. And then a Triumph Seal requires an absurd amount of grinding, so does the Collections Badge. Not looking forward to doing that. I'm sure I'd at least get some of the trophies done, but I'm really not looking forward to doing that DLC when I eventually buy it. And then, of course, there'll be another DLC probably like 6 to 8 months from now. We'll get a, I guess, year 3 DLC, so that one will, of course, increase the cap again and get more annoying trophies, etc. So, with that, level 62, 50%, 15,467 total trophies, 350 platinums, 1,926 golds, 3,924 silvers, 9,267 bronzes. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully, now that I've hit 350, I can stop limiting myself on some of the games I've purchased for trophy hunting, and hopefully try to work through a bunch of them in the near future and try to get my numbers back up a little bit, because I haven't been getting that many trophies the last couple months. Now that I'm finished with Just Cause 4, that's one of the 3 major games I was working on, along with Fallout 76 and Red Dead 2. So, along with working on those 2 games only now, I'll have more time to work on other major games that are supposed to be fair, or not major, but just other easy games. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you for the next one.